We're inside the Mark Carney rally, and today we answer the question we've been hearing, and we're going to go to a Polyev. It's hard for an American like me to say that name, but we're going to a Polyev rally in Nanaimo in 2 days from now, so we'll see the crowd. But he's gotten all this attention for the crowd size. So how is the enthusiasm for Mark Carney? Again, this is why it's interesting to go all the way up to Canada and check out this election, because it's we want to get a good perception of what's happening here and what the enthusiasm is like. And, well, I'll just show it, I suppose. Christian, nice to have you, reintegrated. Hello, hello. I must say it's fairly easy to just walk in, and I think when Carney speaks, it'll be fairly easy to film him. We're still an hour before the rally, so we have time, but it does remind me of a Kamala Harris rally that I went to in Wisconsin, and the crowd that she got was similar to what REO Speedwagon would get, because they were both at the the state fairgrounds, and this is at some sort of fairgrounds as well. So, yeah. So here's the good news, guys. It's very accessible, and that's awesome. And we'll certainly speak to some people who are enthusiastic about Mark and enthusiastic about the Liberals. He is a front runner, but we've seen I do not believe CBC or CTV has extensively really just taken some general shots of the crowd and has really kind of presented them in full form. So this is why I am here. But we'll also talk to some cool people, and he's going to win. He may very well. He's comfortably ahead in the polls. Did all right in the debate. But we will see. But yeah, this is I wouldn't say there is a massive line here. Fairly easy to get in and out. So again, this is still 45 minutes before the rally. So there's certainly time for people to filter out. But it is interesting just to, again, big debate in the media. How is the enthusiasm for Polyev? How is it for Carney? And I don't know if CBC has really just kind of turned the camera to just look at what the attention actually is. So that is why I am here. So hey, gang, nice to have you. Got some nice people in here. And again, we'll talk to some people after they walk around and get a feel for things. See how they're all feeling. But yeah, this is it's always interesting to go to the rallies because you see the difference of enthusiasm. We'll talk to some people.
Looking for the best seats in the house?
Yeah, where you got right there. Beautiful, thank you.
The best seats are right here.
Sweet.
As many people as you can find, just get them to sit here.
Okay, right here. I'll encourage them for sure. Get a great view. Cool. So we're getting encouraged to get people to sit in certain areas so it looks full. That was an interesting perspective. A lot of interesting things happening. But yeah, we'll probably talk to some people and ask them why they're here. Nice, we got a few more people to jog Meets rally. Okay. How are you? I have a YouTube from the U.S., so I'm talking to people. I'm covering the election, supporter of Mark's, and just talking to people why they're here. So wondering if you want to say, no pressure. You're the best, thank you. So what issue is most important to you in this election? Think a lot has changed with the terrorists, and you think Carney has momentum now? Yeah, so you think that people need to consolidate at this point, and whether you support NDP or Liberal, there should be a strong consolidation.
the wave that is struck from the U.S.,
Right.
which is a dictatorship trying to take over Canada.
Right. Stakes are a little higher.
World's most famous liar. His name is John J. Trump. Remember that one.
Ode to Roy Cohn. I like it. Deep cut with the great Roy Cohn, the evil Roy Cohn. Yeah. 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 Right. Right. You wonder why. Yeah.
Where he goes on there and lies every day and thinks everybody's stupid. And we're going to just believe his lies.
Right.
70 million people that are blinded by lies. So we want to wake up, smell the roses, and realize they're being conned. Now they got to lose their jobs. They got to lose everything.
Right.
To realize
Well put. Well put. And do you think that Pierre has done a good job differentiating himself from Trump, or do you feel like in his heart of hearts he's on that bandwagon? Mini Trump, I like it.
He's copying everything to the T. Why? Lies and blind people. The more you keep repeating over and over and over again, people somehow forget about the truth and now they think
Right.
the truth is speech. Why?
Right. Similar themes. Well put.
Anyway, I'm trying to create
I like it. So that's why you're here, being a part of that.
my whole ideas are to be able to add one word to every political party.
Which word? I like it.
True Republican Party.
True Republican, the true republic.
True Liberal Party.
Yeah.
True Conservative. Once you put that word true in front, I dare you to go out there and become a liar. You cannot. If we do not move toward a truthful world, we are doomed.
That's more to live up to. You're right.
Lies is able to destroy democracy.
Right.
We're allowing it. No. Right now, Canada is the leader in one word. Now it should be New Canada North, New Canada Ukraine, North strong and free, and not for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a commonality that certainly Trump and Polyev have on the Ukraine. But certainly, you know.
Now beginning to say that he cares a little bit about him.
Right. Right. Well, all that's kind of switched last minute. And it is funny to see, as an American watching, it's funny to see, Polyev has been very friendly with Trump. And they have a lot in common, and even tweeted his support. And then all of a sudden, in the last 3 weeks, all of a sudden, he's Trump's strongest opponent. Doesn't really make much sense to me, you know?
That's exactly what he wants everybody to do, because he don't need a terrible.
Right.
He wants to destroy it.
Right.
He wants conservative, and he's trying to get Polyev to follow. Why? Polyev will sell Alberta like that to make Trump happy.
Right.
And destroy Canada.
Interesting. So
No way Carney will do that.
and I always wonder that, do you think half of Alberta's beautiful resources would still exist if Pierre is elected prime minister? Or do you look at that province as complete environmental devastation if the Conservatives were to make it in power? Yeah.
Care nothing for the environment. We spend all this time and effort. Why? Reduce our carbon footprint. Why? Because everybody is responsible for it.
Right.
That's the problem. You know,
Right.
Forget about the carbon footprint. I get rid of it. I go 1 million kilometers.
Wow.
Natural gas,
Respect.
supposed to be BC's way of trying to, bring it down. Hey, natural gas is perfect. Much better than gasoline and
Right.
propane and other fuels.
That's the future anyway. It's going to be irrelevant in 10 years. Right.
In our buses, we have a lot of the system here. BC Hydro helped me convert my first van in 1984.
You're ahead of the time. Way cool.
I went with 3 other cargo vans, switching my system from one to the next to the next. That's why I got my million kilometers.
Smart.
I was paying a fortune more at that time had I not after that. I was saving more than 60, 70%. Now what did they do? They decided to go up to the electric.
Yeah.
I helped convert AC hydro fleet. So Ontario hydro fleet in 1990.
I was going to say, you're one of the originals to do that. How cool. You must have been one of the first provinces to do that too, I'd imagine. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I figured. Wow. It's an honor to meet you. Seriously.
As soon as gas was running Ontario, they jumped into it, they got into it, they set up a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
All that progress.
Back then, we were trying to introduce the cheapest thing they could come to, but you wanted up to 200,000. So it never flew. $400 or $500 or $1,000 or $2,000.
Right. Might be doable. Right.
Had we had stayed with that today and had that as our basic, we had saved it in
Right.
Power should have been in gasoline, oil companies.
Way to do it.
I've seen a few hydrogens at Chelsea.
Okay. It's progress.
Hydro station. That's great because alternative fuels.
Yeah, that's what you have to do eventually.
Yeah, well, it's better to have something to do than nothing to do. I mean, we can't ignore our climate footprint.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
But I appreciate that.
Wow.
Likewise, I'm Dodge. What's your name?
Good
Dodge.
I can think of myself as True Dog.
I like that. True Dodge. Good to meet you.
So, first of all, thank you all so much
I can't
for
see
showing
nobody.
up
I can see heads.
for yourself.
Me too. We'll probably sit here anyway. Good to see you.
Okay, guys. So, a couple of housekeeping. I just want to say thank you all to volunteers that showed up to help. So, guys, if you see a volunteer, thank them because this event is not happening without them. Okay?
What's up?
So, thank you, volunteers.
Independent. I have a YouTube. I live in the U.S. and wanted to come up here and yeah, it's live. Yeah. So people. True Dawn. Okay, I'll True Dom. So you got your own. Nice.
I'm not trying to convince everybody what's wrong.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we should check it out though.
Get anybody and everybody interested to
Good.
follow.
Okay, and just True Dom. That's it. Easy. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely subscribe. 100%.
So the folks right behind in the black, they're
Then I get some shots real quick.
We also are going to have our candidates back there now. I know that there's a lot of people still in the room. If you are back there and can't see, I have room for you right behind the piano. Okay? So if you are on this side and you can't see for whatever reason, there's a spot right here, and then you're going to be on TV right behind the piano. Okay? Perfect. So,
Confused where you're speaking from.
okay, if you have signs that you want to wave, I just want to remind you that the cameras are right behind the section. So if you have a big sign, unfortunately you're going to be covering the cameras and folks at home can't see. So if you have a sign, I would recommend you.
I'm still confused where he's speaking, if it's there or there.
Perfect.
Find out.
Very good. If you have a big sign, I need you on that side. Okay? Are we okay? Your sign's upside down.
Oh, is it up here? Oh, is he speaking here? Very complicated.
Okay, so that's it for me. You need to be helpful. And shout out to you guys.
Oh, so this must be where they are, I suppose. A little complicated to figure out. I guess it's speaking right over there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I appreciate that. That makes sense. A little confused, like there.
Facing that way.
Okay, right, that way. It's the completely opposite direction.
Yeah.
No pressure. I don't know if you want to speak, but I'm from the from the U.S. I have a YouTube covering the election.
Oh, do you? Good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
nice.
appreciate it. Well, we've been such jerks, so I wanted to at least project to Americans how awful we've
What's
been.
your YouTube?
Thank you for asking.
Before you trip.
Thank you. You're the best. It's Dodge Landisman. I have a weird name, Dodge,
Yeah.
like the car,
Yeah.
and then Landisman. But I kind of went to war with the Scientology cult that Tom Cruise was a part of. I used to be a local news anchor and did a truthful story. They got me fired. So I have an audience from that. But if you search Dodge and Scientology, you'll also be able to find it. Okay. So that's been my bread and butter, but have a nice audience from that.
Okay, nice.
And
what part of the U.S. are you from?
New York City, so opposite ways.
A long way.
Yeah, but not as bad because there are all these Scientology trials happening in Los Angeles. So I was able to take like a nice 2-week road trip to get up here leisurely. So it wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't
Very
too
nice.
bad.
Well,
But yeah.
welcome to Canada.
Thank you. Good to be here. And I always ask what issue is most important to you in this election.
Are you filming me?
Sorry. Some people know. I apologize. Now I'm not. I can get your voice, or I can mute you. My apologies. It's like a reflex for me. I don't even think about it. But yes. At least now you're out of sight. But no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, you're never right, because if you see a camera, that's a lot more obvious. You just see a phone, you don't even know.
That's right.
Good point. Good point.
So what's going on with the court case in LA?
Good question. So it's interesting. It's a lot of protesters try to get restraining orders against protest. Scientology gets restraining orders against people who protest them. So they'll stand outside their headquarters, and they'll do something minor like use a bullhorn, and then all of a sudden they're looking at 5 or 6 misdemeanor, even felony charges.
Oh,
so,
in the States right now, though?
Yeah, in the States now, yeah. So that's mainly what I cover,
Yeah.
It gets even crazy, I'm sure, yeah.
Well, they're rallying across the United States all over the place.
Yeah. The Bernie has, it's a lot of break up that corruption, So Bernie's been out there.
Bernie's awesome.
Big fan
Are you
of it,
a Bernie?
yeah.
Are you a Bernie guy?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
What's your
like him a lot, yeah.
Are you Democrat? Or
Democrat, yeah.
Okay,
Voted for Bernie in the primary.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm not Rebel News. Don't worry. I'm not them, I promise.
I didn't even know about Rebel News until a few days ago and what they pulled off.
Yeah. Part of me just thinks they did it to be more famous, in my opinion,
sure.
but yeah. And they just knew they caused disruption.
We used to go to the States all the time.
Well, okay.
Because we live right here, right? We're
Interesting.
20 minutes from the border.
Yeah, you're that close.
I haven't been there.
Wow, so you're not going anymore.
My wife, she loves Trader Joe's. Bellingham's not that far.
I was going to say, so you go over to Bellingham to do errands and stuff, and wow, you won't even do that. Bellingham's like what, 40 minutes? 45, an hour?
20 minutes from the border.
Right, okay, that close.
So 20 and 20. It's
right, yeah.
And
interesting,
It's
so you're losing,
because, and now, with all the harassments going on with Canadians and in the news, I'll be honest with you, I don't even feel safe anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't want
you don't want
people,
to be a target. Yeah.
Oh, can I see your phone?
Right.
I don't want to go through that.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, you've seen the people they've hassled, the Canadians they've hassled. They've never hassled them before.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's
and you're right. It's an interesting. That's why I'm here. It's interesting you have that perspective. Because there's a fear now of not. Having
first of all, it went through, with the 51st state thing, and because we know what Trump wants to do. I mean, he wants to take Greenland, he wants to take Panama, he wants to take Canada.
He's he loves William McKinley, empire builder.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. When will they figure out he's a disaster? I don't know. But now they're talking about impeaching him, so who knows?
Yeah.
It happens. I feel, Canadians feel betrayed, right? I mean, we have. You guys are 250. We're we're up there as well. We've been partners. We've been brothers. We've been family.
World War II, World War I, arm in arm.
You know what Trump could have done? No, honestly, and I was actually a Trump fan the first round.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I didn't want Hillary to get in. Because I thought the Clintons were corrupt.
Very corrupt. Good point. Interesting.
But
I
didn't expect it to be worse.
Well, that's probably Wilbur Ross and right.
Right?
Interesting. So you gave it an honest shot. So you're part of that thought. You didn't like the elitist BS and then didn't change.
Yeah. No,
Interesting.
We love it. How many times we've been to Hawaii and Disneyland and New York.
So you lose all that. Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And now you just got to go, wow, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. Right.
And so here's what I was going to say. To me, what I would have done is I would have actually rallied with Canada and Mexico to to build that North American
Yeah, I guess here. That's
wall.
where I live. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
We produce everything here, the three of us together.
We do.
Yeah. Right.
When he figures that out, or no, he won't figure it out, but when most presidents, are you got to
To the side, though. That's the good news. Because you're eloquent. People are like, oh, this guy's interesting. But it's like your arm.
Well, okay, but I'll give you
I'll keep
another
you out of
shot.
the camera.
But now, I don't want to be part of this. I did want to,
Yeah.
but I
No,
don't
blame
now.
you. Yeah.
I want to be part of Europe.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first I've heard of that. Okay.
No, I want to be part of Europe.
I think more security, more
100%.
trade benefits.
And there's
Interesting.
people talking about this.
Right. Wow. Huh.
27,
Cool.
27 countries belong to the euro.
True.
How do you join the euro? You have to have their values, check in the box. You have to have
Yes.
the culture, check in the box.
Yes,
They're part of
certainly.
the
French
Commonwealth.
Canada. Yeah.
You know that
French Canada and the Commonwealth, 2 for 2.
You know that Canada is only, I think it's a couple thousand kilometers to the next closest European country.
Yes, it's very close to St. John's and everything in Ireland. Are very
Denmark's
close.
got Greenland.
Denmark, agree. Yeah, right there.
And look at where we're at.
Right.
Look at the
Right.
globe and tell
Right.
me it doesn't make sense.
Well, you could take a ferry if somebody built it from probably from the Yukon or Southern Northwest Territories, easy out to Greenland.
All I'm saying is that
Yeah.
Canada has options.
Right.
Be careful.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Because
So it's a great
be
economic
careful.
powerhouse to join in with.
Oh my
It's
God.
fascinating.
And,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. The video I was watching, they said, okay, well, but the other thing is, you got to be part of you have to live in the Euro area.
Right.
In Europe.
Sure. Not
But-
all of them necessarily do, but no.
Well, actually, this one guy says, you know what? There's ways around it. And I remember those words. Right? But
Some are technically in Asia now. I mean, it's not, if it's good for them in North America, fine.
You think about that, though. Just give that some thought.
Yeah,
So to me, it's like,
interesting.
if the United States wants to go down that path, which I don't really think they do, because
No.
you got 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Democrats, Republicans, and I don't even think the Republicans all want to do that.
No, I was going to say, but it would be a much smaller percentage who actually support Trump's efforts with the tariffs
Right.
and with this trade war. Yeah, that would be 25 to 30% of the country, probably.
So the easiest route is to build the North America alliance, but all I'm saying is Canada's got options.
Right.
And
Right.
Carney is not going to piss around with this.
No, right.
He's
Right.
lived on both sides of the...
Well, he knows how to have those opening conversations, Bank of England and those connections with a lot of government officials overseas. That's
They
interesting.
already
Think about
started
that.
it. Trudeau started
Yeah.
the conversations after Trump
Right.
told him that
Yeah. He already
It's
started
actually
something.
quite interesting times, it is.
It's fascinating. That's why he came up here, because
Yeah.
you would never think in a million years that there'd be this, election with this much consequences, all based on, Trump wanting to start a war, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And
Well,
Canada's
look
at the center of
Panama guys.
everything for standing their ground.
Picking on the Panama people?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter did a good thing there. You can't fault Jimmy Carter.
Of course.
Right?
Well, you have to decentralize your empire building at some point. That's the weird part that, it is this weird Trump obsession with McKinley, and he compliments him all the time. And, because he was the last empire builder, but that's not the same dynamics, the same empires are not there. There's no Ottoman Empire anymore. There's none of this. So why are you trying to add things?
You know what I fear? I fear that Trump will collapse the United States. I really do.
Might be, yeah. I always, I am optimistic to say it's so self-sustaining, nobody could do it damage, but...
Oh, no. With 145% tariff on China,
Right.
and I'll tell you, Xi is playing it smart. He's not picking up the phone.
Right.
It'll be Trump that calls him. It'll be Trump that calls him because you guys will not have any stuff to sell in your stores. And you look at the demographics of the United States. There's either very, very wealthy or there's everybody else.
Yeah, big chasm.
Go in any store, I don't care what it is.
Right.
Tell me, look at the label.
In China.
And you know what? We all did it.
Yeah.
Canada moved their manufacturing on. Everybody
Sure.
did it. Why? Because we want cheaper goods, cheaper goods, cheaper goods.
Consumer.
But
Consumer
all I'm
decision.
saying is you do it subtly. You bring it back slowly, right? It's not going to happen in Trump's lifetime. Sorry.
Right.
He can start the process. Not like he's doing
That's
it.
amazing that the quick flick of a switch of tariffs, it takes that much longer though to be undone. It's like it takes
That's what
3
I'm saying.
days, and then it takes 5 years to actually get. Wow.
He's gonna hurt so many people. I mean, you guys can see this, right?
Sure. Yeah, I
don't know if
do.
you can see it.
I do. A lot of people do, but not everyone. Not his base.
Yeah.
They don't. Some Republicans have spoken. Rand Paul, a senator, more libertarian. So
Right.
some of the libertarians and their peerism
Yeah.
are speaking out, but very few.
The other thing I got a concern about is the Democrat. Who will be the next Democratic leader?
It's a great question. Great question.
Because you don't have anybody. And Newsom, I
No.
don't think he's going to be the guy.
That's the fun of it.
Right?
No, I think Newsom is too much of a used car salesman. He's a little too slick. Actually, not
There
that
you go,
likable.
yeah.
And California's had. You can pinpoint reasons for the problem. California has had an explosion in homelessness, an explosion in crime. It's not a great poster child. It depends on how hard left or mid left you are. Hard left, everybody says Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandra, I think Whitmer would be the best choice, the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer.
Okay.
Detroit has improved as a city.
Yeah.
They're rebounding. Their tourism is rebounding. Homelessness is not famously horrific as it is now getting in LA or San Francisco or Seattle.
Right.
So she's a good example of a Democrat that has used progressive values to make a state economically successful. The other one I would think is a libertarian-leaning Jared Polis, who's the governor of Colorado. Colorado, another good example. Denver is as strong as it's ever been. Hopefully they don't do Newsom or AOC.
I was rooting for Kamala, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I was. She's smart.
She's very smart. A great prosecutor. Is very quick at her feet.
But I don't, Americans,
eloquent. Yeah.
They're not ready for a woman president, I don't think.
It might be. Yeah.
Right?
It might be a big part of it. Yeah.
Because if Hillary couldn't make it and Kamala couldn't make it, people are going, okay, what's going on here?
Right. Sure.
Right?
Sure. It's always tough to figure out that answer because some would say both of them were uniquely bad.
Yeah.
Although Kamala, I think, much less than Hillary, much less corrupt.
You know that in business, if you were going to hire a CEO to run your company, right, and you're looking at a whole bunch of resumes, and you get a woman, you get a man,
right,
and the woman is actually better on the resume, are you going to go for the man?
Right.
Because women actually are better managers than men.
Sure.
You would have been better off with Kamala.
I think so. I wish it were. She fumbled the ball though a multitude of times. That was the headache.
Yeah.
It's like, when they asked her what difference do you have with Biden, she says I can't think of it.
I know.
Lost the election in that moment. So she was imperfect, but she was a good president.
I like Biden, but I thought he had some missteps.
Yeah.
The border was one.
Sure.
And then the other one that I for the life of me can't figure out. He wants to put the tax increases at the end of his term.
Right.
For the next election. Why didn't he do it?
Right, not that hard.
The first 2 years.
Right.
When he had both.
Well, right. You're right. That's probably made all his promises. Yeah.
Right. Now they got a problem.
Yeah.
$37 trillion dollar problem. Here's another fact that's kind of wild.
American dollar problem.
It's kind of like in Canada we have, we got conservatives, we got liberals, right? So if you go back in history, you know who the worst managers ran up the debt and worst manager of the economy?
Was it actually the PCs? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yes. And
That's
actually,
funny.
look back in the history of the United States. It's the Republicans that do the
that I know. Yeah.
Okay, here's
George
another
H.W.
stat.
Bush. Yeah.
Out of 37 trillion and 250 years of history, there's two presidents, Trump and Bush. They're responsible for 16 trillion of the 37.
That
out
much?
of 250 years. Oh yeah, Bush messed up, right? With the Iraqi thing. His was 8 trillion, and Trump's is 8 trillion as well.
Wow, without a war, that's funny.
That's crazy.
Wild.
I mean,
so
to be
funny that all the
honest with
economic conservatives. That's the biggest thing too. If you're economic conservative and you want to be prudent, that's just. I didn't know he believed that he was that big of a percentage of polluting the deficit that much.
Tax breaks to the rich did it for him.
Right.
And then COVID tail end.
Sure.
Whether he was responsible for every nickel, I don't know.
Right.
But the fact is, he's got the worst record of employment, worst record for financial. I mean, it's a disaster.
Right.
And then who's your guy for 4 more years?
Yeah.
Look how much damage has happened He
3
wiped
months,
out
4
$10
months.
trillion globally.
Right.
Come on.
You see
Scott
why it's
Bessent's
actually-
had to say, come on. Can you imagine those meetings? Scott's going in to see Trump. He goes, look, you know what? You can't do this anymore. I'm getting it. His phone must be ringing off the hook. Wall Street's calling him up. Look, we can't handle this. Serious, right?
Yeah, no world leaders, having any conversations with you whatsoever.
But you know who's getting hurt is the little guy.
Yeah.
It's all the little people.
It's hard. Yeah, that's the last concern. There's some unaffordability under Trudeau, but that's kind of that's the general increasing income gap. Not that the Conservatives will close it at all. You know, that's the last question. Is do you think Carney? I guess his plan is a little more prudent than Sink's, for example.
Oh, you know what? Carney is head and shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what? I always say God has a plan. I am serious. So they had the Liberal Leadership Convention here.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
Carney, just this guy out of the blue.
It's a steamroll. I was surprised. I kind of like Freeland in a lot of ways for having the guts to go against Trudeau.
He doesn't have the resume.
Right, interesting. Right. He really, for the tariff conversation, he's very specifically qualified. Yeah.
In so many ways. I mean, Polyev, I was so pissed off with Polyev's platform the other day. Because he lies. He's actually putting out misinformation. He's telling everybody, oh, I'm going to give you a 15% tax deduction.
Right.
Yeah, oh, but he didn't tell you that it doesn't kick in for 4 years.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, where's Carney? You know what? Carney's not a politician. So he takes people for face value. And he's straight up.
Right. Good point.
Wow, I'm going like,
that's funny,
this guy, because bankers can't be dishonest. Think about it.
Yeah, interesting. They know the system.
His integrity is head and shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Interesting.
Plus, he's genuine. He's got his family all over the place. They live up island.
Yeah,
His mom
cool.
lives down the coast.
Oh, I don't know, okay.
Alberta.
Well, I thought it was the coolest that he was born in like the Yukon or something.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
Right?
pretty badass. Yeah.
Grew up. He played,
That's the real.
He's been to
thick of
Harvard.
Canada.
He was on. He worked for.
Well, Bank of England, a long resume.
No, but in New York, though, he was at
Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
He was there for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
My neighbor,
The qualifications.
his cousin works for Goldman Sachs in New York, and she told G, he's the guy. You got him,
Interesting.
you take him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not quick.
The other thing that bothers me is there's so much, and this happens, I guess, with every year. You get this right-wing social media, and they're trashing people, right? Or they're putting out fake information.
Sure. Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. Well,
And, this election is nothing
what I'm
different.
hearing.
But you know the truth, you know, like eventually the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And now you just gotta hope.
It's
that
enough
everybody
translates into
understands it,
votes
right?
in a week. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You feel confident, all in all? Doing well in the polls?
You know what? We never take it for granted.
Well put. Well put.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You
Well put.
you get out the vote. I've
Yeah,
gone
no matter
door
what.
knocking for these guys.
Yeah. And that thing is close enough where that effort still makes a difference to get out the vote for him. Yeah.
You know what? I did. Actually, I supported 2 MPs here.
Oh, cool.
There's Quebec's right there.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, and it's always
Cool.
interesting to meet people and talk to them.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
For the most part, the calls were pretty favorable. But I had a
Good.
couple of
Well,
people
so you've been making calls and everything. So you've been really on the ground.
calls door knocking. Right?
Oh, wow. So you've done that too.
Yeah.
Good on you. No easy work. I used to do that, back in the U.S. It's intense.
It is not easy work, right?
No. But you didn't get the door slammed in your face 100% of the
I
time?
only had a couple of people that said no. And that's fine.
Good for you.
And this one gal, she wanted to, I just let her rip. She wanted to tell me why she's voting for the other guy versus him.
Sure.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it's nice to get that out.
Whatever works, right?
Right. Nice to have
And
it
then
out.
some, they say they're not going to vote. I says, well, listen, this is the most, usually young people, right?
Right.
I said, this is so crucial to get out there and vote. This is going to be the most critical.
Yeah.
Right? It's like my stepdad never voted in his entire life, and he voted.
Wow, really? Good for you.
And he's 80.
Wow. He never liked anything. That's wild.
Right?
Wow, impressive. Voting for the first time at 80. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Wow. He was never impressed with any of them. Never impressed with Trudeau or Harper or
He just never got involved.
Diefenbaker back then, right?
Never
Right.
got involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And now he sees the urgency. So you think it's waking up? That's the other thing. Voter turnout seems higher than it's ever been. Is
Yeah.
this the tariff stuff? Is it kind of waking Canadians up to kind of feel like,
You know what? Trump did us a favor, honestly. Thank you, Trump.
Yeah. Well, I will say I meander around Canada a little bit in 2021.
Yeah.
Most this is no slight on Canadians, but most couldn't tell me like who Aaron O'Toole was.
Right.
They could tell you now. I speak to most people. I'll go to the restaurant, hop an Uber. They can tell me all four of the candidates.
Yeah.
That's cool. So there's a real heightened interest.
You know, I feel bad for O'Toole.
Me too. I thought he was kind of level-headed, honestly.
He was
Yeah.
a gentleman.
He was.
And
He
if
was.
you listen to him, actually, to be honest with you, I believe, and again, we're working hard. We want to,
Yeah.
Monday we'll know, right?
Yes.
But the criticisms about BP and a lot of people don't even like him.
Yeah,
And-
heard that.
But O'Toole, I think, would be a better leader for them right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For the Conservatives,
Well, from what I know about PP and O'Toole, I'd say that man's not going to lie to you. He's going to
No,
be straight
right.
up, and he's
Yeah.
got a more level-headed and
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean, like the way he communicates and he delivers. But for whatever reason, they wanted the picked on, right?
That was of the moment, and that's the irony. Is of the moment, you had the Netherlands and all these areas going conservative, and people feeling like there's a desire for a Trump-like personality, and then the rug gets pulled from under you. But Pierre was trying so hard to move to make those mutual connections. Even Danielle Smith having that conversation with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And they thought, all right, we could be these celebrities,
Yeah.
get known in the USA, and then it comes crashing down because Trump says, well, F you.
Yeah, Daniel Smith made a couple big mistakes. From what I hear in Alberta, there's a momentum to get rid of her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Fascinating, because like to an American, she's the most, besides Cher and maybe Ford, she's the most famous political figure, really, aside from the Prime Minister. She's catered her image to do that. But that's fascinating. So they might even throw her out internally. And that, that was big when they kicked out the NDP in that
Yes.
election.
Yeah.
And then she held it. But very mildly she held it. It was kind of a...
She's like Polyev. She's got a
Yes.
base
Yes.
that she's trying to, beat the drum to.
Yeah.
But that's not going to last forever.
Do you think if Pierre loses, it's going to be her versus Doug Ford? I feel that will be the leadership battle.
It'll be Doug.
Do you think Doug Ford easy? Do you think that's why they're criticizing Polyev? It's kind of crazy. That doesn't happen in the U.S. You don't see Nikki Haley people say, you know what, Trump is running a horrible campaign and he's going to lose. You don't see Ron DeSantis
No,
say...
she did that. Nikki Haley. I was rooting for her.
I liked her too. I saw her primary. I went to New Hampshire.
They didn't pick her, actually.
Yeah, me too. I thought very level. I think she would have been a good president. I think kind of better
She
than
would
Biden.
have,
She
and
would
then
have
why? Because she's
Yeah.
a woman again.
been. Right? Yeah. That's a tough to overcome Trump. But she did it a little bit, but not to the level where like Ford's guy, that dude with the glasses, is always on TV criticizing Polyev. It's very funny, but because this is internal battle.
I already thought about it a couple weeks ago when that started to happen.
Right,
I thought,
right.
okay, you know what? You're looking for the bigger picture here.
Right.
He doesn't want to be associated with any of this. And the other thing is, Ford's campaign manager, he's been really openly critical of Polyev.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Yeah, right. Yes. That's who it was. Yeah, Corey. Yeah. I can tell you his last name. I see him on TV all the time.
Yeah.
I see him on CTV and whatever.
I mean,
and it's kind of hilarious to watch it because it just doesn't happen like that in the U.S. Or you didn't see Bernie people saying, what an awful, Bernie people saying Hillary's definitely going to lose after, fine.
Yeah.
But before, no.
Yeah.
I know. And that was the difference. So it's interesting. But yeah, I think Ford is probably, he's been very smart because he has that charismatic personality, but then he is very level-headed fighting against Trump. He's come a long way from being famous for being the brother of the crack-smoking mayor.
You know what? His brother
long
was a
way.
good guy though too.
They say that. He's a great mayor of Toronto, actually. The crime went down and taxes are reasonable, quality of life. Yeah, ironically.
He passed away of cancer, I think it was.
That was at it, yeah.
But his brother was a good guy. And
Yeah.
the Fords are well
Was
known,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. A lot of people love
And
the
you know,
Fords.
he's
Yeah.
been on Fox News. He's been on CNN.
Yeah, I know. He's very,
And, he's a
great.
personable guy.
Very
He's
personable.
got a personality,
Very
right?
personable. I think if they nominated him, because you can't do it because it happened so long ago.
Yeah.
But if they nominated him, he might have been able to pull it off. Would have been a
That's what
closer
I'm saying.
election. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
comes down to the leader. It really does.
It does.
And integrity and trust and all those things.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you have that, I think you that's more than half of what it takes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you get caught up in shenanigans and lies, and Daniel Smith, she's enrolled, and there's a big scandal going on because she's got caught up in some healthcare privatization.
I didn't know that. I'm not surprised though. That's
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah. So
She's very on brand. That's hilarious.
So she says, "Oh, my government's cooperating." Well, no, they're not,
Right.
because they're trying to do an investigation. But there is
Oh, wow.
some
Okay.
shenanigans going on there.
Yeah.
But I don't long term, and then she's not even that likable a person. She's very
No.
arrogant, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I didn't find her that
some people
charismatic.
have personality and some people don't.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how she got in. You know, probably on some sort of separatist, some negative garbage.
She was part of the Wild Rose Party for a while, which
Yeah.
was the hard right
Yeah.
division, if I'm not, that was the separatist advocates.
Yeah.
The meeting of the moment, again, people
That's
were
true.
feeling closer to the USA and their inclinations
Yeah.
of how their party should go, more Trump-like, and then again,
Yeah.
completely out the window.
Yeah.
With Ford playing it smart the entire time and
Yeah.
playing against type. But they're marching towards it.
Yeah.
Now, could everything be resolved and does crime get much worse? And is there a, big drumbeat for conservatism? Perhaps, but it might not be Trump conservatism anyway.
Right.
It might be a very more level-headed, less bombastic,
Right.
divisive, corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Vance is another problem too.
He's a fascinating figure. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a shame because that's not really him, to be honest with you. I don't believe it's him.
No, I think it's got a good heart
I think
at the end of the day.
he's drawn into this Trumpism type thing.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
Yeah.
But I think that,
he's
honestly, I'm hoping
hitch his
that,
wagon.
a couple weeks, couple months, things can get worked out.
Yeah.
And then maybe Scott will talk to Trump some more, and
Right.
maybe we can work out this whole thing.
Right.
Because it's not sustainable what he's doing anyway.
No.
He's going to hurt the Americans. He's going to hurt
Yeah,
us.
it's going to hurt us more.
But China's going to hurt back.
Right.
So what is this?
Right.
What are we doing here?
Right. It's like a
Stronger together.
fight fest. Yeah.
Right?
Right. Not necessarily. Only in the very specific geographic region. That's it.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you for everything. I want to get probably try to see them because we're in the opposite end. Well, hopefully I'll see you around up Dodge. By the way,
Chatting with you. Yeah.
it was an honor. Thank you. It was fascinating rundown, and this is great material, and just to be on the ground. So keep fighting. Keep having an open mind too. I like that you're not like
I always have an
hardcore.
open mind.
Yeah. No, I
do.
admire that. I admire that.
We're Canadians.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
We're
point.
friendly.
That's
Tell
what it's all
those
about.
guys that we're friendly.
Yeah, I will. That's why I'm here. I'll bring the message. That's my promise. Good meeting you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, pardon me. All right, that was a long conversation. Somebody didn't want to be filmed, but that was cool. Okay, there's a lot in the chat. We'll catch up. We'll see. It's gotten more attended, I would say. Not super more attended, but oh, pardon me. All right. Trying to figure out where exactly he's speaking.
Be careful because if you step too close, they simply everywhere. Trust me, they are. You don't even know where they are.
I'm going to try to rotate. They're coming this way, but I'm going to try to rotate. Guys, if you're misbehaving in the chat and saying racist things, I'm going to ban you. Hey, Hamid Up, I emailed you. I don't know if you got it or not. Good luck. You might have been busy campaigning. I was at a Sing event in Port Moody yesterday, 2 days ago. But Heather, let me know if you want to do like a mutual live stream. I don't know if you're interested. My assumption is that Sing will have some sort of party in Burnaby, would be my guess. So if you're going that, let me know, Heather. Because I emailed you back a year back, but I emailed you like 4 months late, so that's my bad. But Heather, send me another email. Hey, Kate Taylor, nice to have you. All right, Kate Taylor, racist account, I'm banning you. Definitely banning you. Racist parody account. Dodgers conceded to Ford, I'll take that. Nah, Doug Ford's mom didn't know the name of the father. I don't know what you're talking about. Love Doug Ford. Doug Ford is pretty level-headed. Typical liberal deleting. I'm not deleting anybody's comments. You can't handle the truth. Liberals have destroyed the country, says Kevin. Some people think that. We're going to go to a Pierre rally in 2 days. Time to vote blue. Well, we'll see what happens. The only man with a real plan, Pierre Poilievre. Vote blue. Axe the tax and restore the Canadian economy. Well, Kevin, I'm going to give you some good news, Kevin. I'm talking to you, my friend. If you're a fan of his, people have been talking about how well attended the rallies are. Not as great. Not as great, Kevin. And CBC will not show you. I'm a schmuck. I've been copping it. You'll lose brain cells watching the stream, but at least I'll do one thing that the CBC and CTV will not do, which is film the crowd size at a Mark Carney rally. It's not that hard. So you see it with me. Please subscribe. Please give me a super chat, damn it. It's up to my OF. I'm kidding. I'm a lib because for some reason all the conservative politicians seem to be pedos. Fair? Okay, Mios. Fair assessment. Pierre's most certainly not going to win. Ham it up. I feel that's right. Carney has it in the bag. Please learn how to tip video properly with your camera. Give me a super chat for lessons. All right, give me money, and then I'll respect what you ask of me. Hey, Christian, thank you for becoming a member. Very kind. I think Kate Taylor's here. I blocked her. Heather, good luck. But yeah, I think probably Carney wins, but and some very well-informed people here that I've been speaking with. Had some fun. We had a long conversation with that guy. He was cool. I liked him. I almost like everybody. I don't think I've ever interviewed anybody where I just like that person. Ever. I really want to cross this line and get a closer seat, but I don't know if Canadians are more serious about their lines or not. I'm gonna start screaming at me in French. All right, so it's like the back of this dude is where Carney will be. And that's where the cameras are. So right now we're going to see a lot of back of head action. Who doesn't like head? I could give you 20 things the Liberals have done in 1 month that are revolutionary excellent for the country, Hammed Up says. Most people have no idea because they don't research substantially. So Heather, are you full Liberal now? No NDP? I feel you.
Over here, you're good? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still too low, or you gotta go? Oh, okay. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyone else hearing me? Just you?
Okay. Well, we're allowed to cross.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come to Kelowna. Oh, you're all the way in Kelowna. I might do that, Heather. That'll be fun. Heather, you're out in Kelowna. Cool. I didn't know you're that far out, but that might be fun. Thank you. Screenshot it. Kelowna. Maybe I'll see Heather. That'll be cool. And so theirs is where Carney will presumably be. So we can get some side.
Still no.
I'm testing now. Test 1, 2, 1, 2.
Still low. Okay. Hey, 1, 2. Still in. Okay. 1, 2.
We'll see. Mainstream media is brought and paid for, says Kevin, totally biased. Well, this is why I'm here. It's nice. It's kind of nice, though. It's a little light. I could even go outside and smoke a cigarette, which I think I might do. It's kind of awesome. I mean, I couldn't. This is pretty cool. I can just go out and smoke my little cigarette and come back in. I got to catch you up on the chat. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Very nice. Usually liberal gray area. Interesting. Centrist left. So it's about to start. Awesome, Heather. I didn't know that. You're on the board of your local Liberal Party. Cool. Sorry, I mistook you for NTP. My bad. Paranoid, you're banned. Bye. Carney. That's interesting. This will be for Mark Carney. Yes, this is a Mark Carney rally. Alright, so let's try to get a good view again. Maybe I can sneak into press. Where is everybody? This is, yeah, guys, again, Mark is about to speak at 7:30. It's officially time for the start of the rally. And this is, again, you know, CBC and CTV will not necessarily show you just the full scope of how many people are here today. It's not a ton. It's not a lot. But that's why it's sad, man, that I'm just some American schmuck visiting, and you have to watch me for this shit to see how the crowd size are. You can't watch the CBC. You have to watch a dirty American. And I will instill tariffs upon all of you, and we will ban your French language. But at least now you get to see the crowd sizes. I'm kidding, guys. Je parle français. No, I don't. That's okay. I speak Chinese. So we have a good view, at least. Let's see if we can see him when he speaks. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to be shaking like that. I'm kidding. I'm going to stay as best as I can. Cops were called by. You're banned, too. 24 hours. Good question, Bob Cox. Where are they all? Waiting for Carney. Waiting for Godot. Waiting for government. I banned them for you, Kate Taylor. Out of desperation, attempt to look like they're doing something for the people. Dad is MAGA. Someone please get CPS to save me. Maybe I will. Oh, it looks like they're coming out, or somebody's coming out. There's mild applause, but not actual applause. This guy looks like off-brand, Mark Carney. Alright, guys. I might put a 1 if I should just, like, end the stream to save battery. Put a 2 if I should not. Because I think it might just end and wait for Carney. Put a 2 if you think I should not end the stream. And I should try to interview people, but it's awkward if somebody's singing, so I probably couldn't do that. But maybe I should. Alright, put a 1 if you want me to end the stream, because I don't need to hear all of this. And wait for Mark Carney. Put it 2 if you want me to go out and interview people. Alright, 2. Elbows down. I don't know what that means. Is that some Canadian expression? I don't speak Canadianese. Okay? 2. Alright. I'll interview some people.
Yeah.
We'll interview these guys when they're done with the report down. How about that?
It's my pleasure to be here. I'm just going to do a couple of songs here.
This guy's doing songs.
I've never been shy in my opinion in my music, so people tell me to say the same thing. Getting back to the story of Carney and he every road
Hey, I'm wondering if I could bother you guys now, because no good deed goes unpunished. I have a little YouTube. I'm recording to the side, so I don't know if you're comfortably recording. Oh, so you're the best. Thank you. I'm visiting from the U.S. to cover the election. Okay. I guess I want to start off. What's the most important issue for you?
I think just, the future of our country, just kind of being back on a track that we trust, being, both socially progressive and fiscally responsible. So that's the priority for me.
Interesting. What about you?
I 100% agree with that. Yeah, we're in this moment where we don't want to be panicking with what's going on with the Trump. So we just want steadiness. We want a solution that's actually going to make us better off than just sitting back and dealing with Trump.
And do you think it's another reason why the Liberals are getting some good traction? Because there's a lot of people like you who are a little more economically level-headed and maybe not as spending happy as the NDP. And do you think Carney kind of has this nice economic balance?
Yeah, I think we fit in the camp of a lot of folks we know who, honestly, if Trudeau had run again, would have been a hard government to support and vote for, to be honest.
Yeah. Interesting.
We feel the need. I'm a small business owner. We feel the need to, balance books and to manage the economy appropriately. With Carney, we feel like there's an appropriate balance between social issues and economic responsibility that I think is going to win the day for, a reasonable strategy moving forward. And so, I think this is a testament to a bunch of people feeling the same way about that optimism, because most Canadians would not probably be at this rally if this were, forecasted even 6 months ago or whatever it was, right? So, it's been a big change, and Carney is the reason for that.
Well put. Interesting. And so, do you think if there was no tariff issue, might have you been a little more undecided? How you said that? But
yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people talk about this tariff issue as being this. It's a galvanizing issue. Obviously, it's kind of the most pure symptom of what's happening, and in this Donald Trump scenario, it's all the narrative. But I think one of the things that we've come to realize is I think this move to the right, this kind of this Trump style of politics at a grassroots level has been present in Canada as well. Sure. And Trump just put a point on it, but it's something that we fundamentally, want to try to safeguard against the spread of that concept, is feeling like you have no other options. You have to throw out the baby with the bathwater and start again, because it's so disruptive, and there is a better path forward. That's our vision.
I've been hoping he would run for a long time. So much respect for what he did in the Olympic crisis. I feel like he's such an important figure in Canada.
So you knew him before. That's interesting.
Yeah,
you heard the name, and I think that's true.
So, I think we were all just in a moment of an affordability crisis, call it, and we were craving this kind of leader. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's good. It's good they changed the reign. Probably definitely necessary. And do you think the Liberals will pull off a good victory? I'd imagine now at this point, even though it's tightened slightly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. I think so. I think it'll be a matter of, as always, the Get Out to Vote campaign. But, we also watching the United States election very closely. Yeah. There's a lot of folks who, kind of surprised us all and came out to the polls and voted. So we'll see what happens.
Good point.
I think there's a latent kind of push, and I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Very cool.
Yeah, but we are optimistic. We're here. So.
And do you feel like you have a good future for your business? Taxes won't be crazy and it'll be manageable.
Yeah,
cool?
I think so. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm comfortable with this form of leadership. It's good for business, and I think it's good for Canada. So.
Yeah. Perfect. You guys were super eloquent. Thank you. You're the best. I appreciate it. I'm Josh, by the way. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you.
And then, in a way, that fear connects us all. And if we can get over that fear, we can probably
Kevin, good points.
In everybody, probably find some common ground.
It'll be a very different conversation at Pierre's rally in Nanaimo. Thanks. Okay, Taylor, I just don't tolerate any racism.
You know, we can do a lot with an invitational energy to invite people in and to get them excited about community and togetherness and unity and progressing as a country and as a people and sovereignty and culture and the CBC and all of these things. So I'm gonna leave with another real bummer of a song here, just to make sure we get real ramped up. This song I feel like was decades in the making for me. It's a new song. It's coming out on a record later this month.
Fear tyranny. That we could only bring up. Tyranny is to be feared, not embraced.
This song is just called Story.
Try to find some more people. Try with that. Try to find some. Will you be at the next? I will. I'll be at the Pierre rally in Nanaimo. It's been a real struggle to pronounce that name, I'll tell you. But I've learned. I think I finally pronounced it correctly. I will be at the rally in Nanaimo. How are you? Good, thank you. I got a little YouTube. I'm from the U.S. visiting, and just wondering if you want to be interviewed real quick. Just talk about what issue is most important to you. Covering all the rallies, but Mark Carney is where my heart's at, I'd say.
This is my first rally.
Oh, cool. Okay, first ever one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can I ask what brought you out?
Well, I'm retired now, so I got some time.
Nice. So you got the time. Able to catch your breath. And feel comfortable out a a liberal victory?
I don't want a conservative victory. I want a liberal
So
victory.
you think it's a good chance it'll happen, though? That's why we come out.
What I think is the conservative poll numbers they're more than what is polling.
I think so too.
Usually.
Yeah.
And so we need like a 5-point.
Yeah. Right.
And
You need that cushion.
It's going to end up being too
Interesting. So you think the liberals will take it, but less than people think, not by 6 points, but by. That's why it's important to come out and show up at these rallies, obviously.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I agree with that perspective because there's a lot of similar themes in the U.S. Trump did unexpectedly well with men, with younger people that Poilievre, or with younger men alone that Poilievre is doing. So there's similar themes. The difference is that Harris might have been tied or up by Trump by 2, but I think the polling analysis is actually kind of comparable. And at least this is 5 or 6.
The conservatives usually don't say it, they'll keep it to themselves.
Right.
The liberals are more outgoing.
Yes. Yeah. I've noticed that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Are you recording me right now?
Not filming. I was recording your voice, not filming your face, though. Oh,
okay.
Apologies. I should have mentioned I was recording the voice as well.
Okay.
But thank you. You gave me some good info. Apologies. I appreciate it. Good to meet you. Thank you. Oh, sure. And thank you for your interest. It's Dodge Landesman. And if you search, I went to war with the Scientology religion. You know them. I had issues with them, so I got a following. So if you search Dodge and Scientology, you can find it too.
Dodge and Scientology?
Yeah, because I did all this anti-Scientology stuff.
Okay.
So that's probably the easiest way to find it. And or just my last name is Landesman. Dodge. So yeah, just from the U.S. covering all these rallies.
Okay. What state are you from?
New York. It's a bit of a ways, but with the Scientology, they have these trials where they're putting protesters in court with the Scientology stuff, people protesting against them. So I've been in Los Angeles covering a lot of that. So I took like a nice 2-week road trip to get up here.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good,
nice,
good.
beautiful up the coast. Had a great time. I just want to stay here forever though. It's so stunning. Everywhere you look, you're like surrounded by mountains and everything. And, so I'm kind of in love with this region. There's nothing like it. And then I took the ferry to Nemo, which was stunning. Breathtaking, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live here, we take everything for granted. And
Yeah,
so-
I know. Yeah, I bet.
So now that I'm retired, I've been retired for 3 years now.
Oh, cool. Congratulations.
But my youngest grandson will be going to kindergarten in September.
Okay.
So I'm going to have more time
Right.
to do all this kind of thing.
So you're on kind of granddad duty for a while.
Yeah, until September.
Nice of you.
Yeah.
You'll always be there. Until kindergarten, at least give you the 8-hour sigh of relief. Well done. No, but then you look around and so many parks and everywhere, surrounded by waterways and mountains, and it's just stunning. Every block of this place is really cool. So it's fun to be here. 100%. 100%. And yeah, thanks for your eloquence. It's much appreciated. I'll look out for you. Good to meet you. Just making their real. We'll see what happens. Nine moi. Oh, did I mispronounce it again incorrectly? The Nanaimo. Isn't that how I said it? Did I say Nanaimo again? I don't know. Carney is keeping Canada great. Some people feel that, some people don't. It's certainly late for their start. It'd be nice if something begins at 7:30 that actually begins at 7:30. I think we've had a lot of good interviews. I don't know if we need more. Maybe we do. Well, this is at least a good view because you can see the camera here. So I might stick around here, guys. Only because it's a primo, good spot. See, this is like a good spot to be at, honestly. So I don't know if I want to migrate.
45 minutes. And like the
Generations to come. We got some hockey thing, that's cool. One in Rome.
So far, it's only been one game and they lost, but
Let's see, check on the chat. Scientology is a cult. Good job. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. That's mainly what my channel is about. So this is a very significant departure. I'm losing subscribers doing this, guys, which I figured I would. But please do subscribe. And even if you like Scientology stuff, don't unsubscribe. Don't be rude. I'll get back to the Scientology stuff. This stuff is important. Found out we are noticing door-to-door as women are voting for liberals, interesting, contrary to conservative husbands. Yeah, but the numbers might fall poorly in that regard, though. What happened with Trump? That's why I don't know. Pierre is doing well. The same patterns that surprised people at Trump's victory, Polyev has those same people, so it's interesting. And then part of it, you look at enthusiasm, and Pierre's gotten a lot of people at his rallies. I'm here to show you how many people are at this. It's not bad, but not massive, I would say. MAGA and Maca. All right. We got the two MAGs. Well, the Trump conversation will be interesting when I go to Polyev. Is how do they differentiate that, and how do they explain that? I don't know if they can. Maybe they will. Who knows? I didn't serve in the U.S. Army to have. Oh, thanks for your service, Kate Taylor. Wow. Some group tried to pull my son into another oligarchy war. Word. Dodge. The Naimo is pronounced Naimo. Not Naimo. I'm saying it right, am I not? Not Naimo. Carney's keeping Canada great. Who knows? I think it's wild. And you'll have a good time at the Pierre rally. I hope so. I hope it's better than this. You'll have a good time. Well, I'm always a little shy, but I'll find somebody else to interview. Hey, how are you?
I have a little YouTube. I'm from the U.S. covering the election. Just wondering if you might be interested in saying what issue is most to your good. No worries.
What's your name?
My name is Todd. Like the car. Great snake. Oh, okay. What? Cool. That's cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. That's me. Cool. Nice to get some traction. What's up? It really is. It's very exciting. I think Carney has it very comfortably at the end of the day. People are seeing this as a two-person race. I saw that. I went to the NDP rally. You know, they were kind of self-aware that there is this real consolidation that's happening. So yeah, no, it's fascinating to be here. And I covered a little bit back in 21, and there's a lot more interest. Like everybody knows the candidates. Not a lot of people even knew O'Toole back then. So yeah. New York City, so kind of a way, opposite way. But I have a YouTube because I've spoken out against Scientology, the cult that Tom Cruise is a part of, and I got fired for doing a truthful piece. I was a local TV news reporter, but got a big audience. So if you search like Dodge Scientology, you should find it. But I've been in LA for a lot of trials against protesters who protest Scientology. So I took like a nice 2-week road trip. Really is, yeah. Really violent, dangerous rhetoric. Oh my God. No, that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, that's the scary part, is all that's kind of spilled over here. And there is that hard right contingent, even in Canada, that's quite scary. Yeah. Right. It's that easy. But no, and I always thought that's, especially the Conservative Party, if there was this more of a drifting towards supporting Trump and that cultural attitude, and Pierre bought into that. It's like DeSantis imitating Trump's movements and everything, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled from under him, thank God. But it was scary to see kind of, there were some real violent conservative voices that were emerging. Yeah, through and through, luckily. Although the one who got re-elected only won by like 6 points, which was small for New York. It was weird for Republicans to come that close. But I think in the future, very securely Democratic, less of an issue. I might cover the midterms and other more competitive states.
I mean, they're allowed to happen.
Right.
And the whole West Coast is doing.
Yes, very comfortably. And again, they were like scared for a second that in the midterms, when the Democrats did reasonably well in 22, that Oregon might go, or Washington, but it didn't, and it stayed Democratic, luckily. And that's the closest it could have come. So that's the future of the U.S. is going to be this sharp division of islands of freedoms in various states and none at all in others. But I guess the nice part about states' rights, sounds bad in the past, is at least you can escape to those areas. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah.
There are people that are like horrified.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing too, is even in Texas, the urban areas are quite progressive.
Yeah.
So people in Houston or Dallas or Austin, are horrified by Trump. And, voted probably 70% for Harris and not for Trump. So that's the other interesting. That's why in Canada too, it's kind of shattered those stereotypes. See, there are these pockets of conservatism and progressivism. Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And he might not know it. So. Now, are you helping in the campaign or just a supporter?
I'm looking for it. I don't call me yet, but I'm going to
okay.
My phone's not working properly, so I might have just missed it. Somehow I got it sent to me like, call forward into voicemail. And then
bummer. Okay. Well, you can always stop by the office in person or something, I guess. Or,
Yeah.
I know they always want people to make calls. That's the big one.
Yeah. That's a big thing, but I do see liberal signs out there
Oh,
now.
cool.
No, I
Big
don't
thing.
see any conservative signs as there have been in the past. And whether that's
Interesting.
just people hiding it, they don't
I'd
want
be
to have it.
surprised. Maybe it's the same thing with Trump. Here's less, although he said similar things, less divisive than Trump. So I think they'd be less shy, but that's interesting. You never know. Right.
They don't, they're not so right, they're just sort of people that they
Right.
don't want to be associated with them, they don't want to vote liberal.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know, but Carney's a good choice.
Yeah.
Not that really a left call for Canada.
No.
We're all left for Canada.
Right. Well, I even think the conservatives are not Democrat light. They're more Republican. Conservatives in Canada are far more Republican than they are Democrats in any stripe in the U.S. But yes, Carney, I mean, it's kind of nice that Jagmeet is there because all the, the explosion of crime, soft on crime, insanely high taxes, opposition to any type of gas development, although there should be a cap. Carney isn't about any of that. So he looks kind of very moderate in and I think he is. I think that's what people are realizing. Yeah.
But I think Americans right with what their taxes are and Canadians that live down there and they say it's not that much cheaper.
No, it's
time you keep factoring the healthcare and $8,000 deductibles.
Right.
It's not really that much cheaper.
No.
Apparently property taxes are a lot higher.
Astounding, like in New York. Like 40% sometimes, and crazy numbers.
The value of your house?
Yeah, sometimes that much. In a certain area, yeah. And that's they're higher in a lot of other areas. And that's become a big issue. I met in Canada too, because there is, in some sense, there's more but less space at the same time, because the urban areas are so condensed in that regard. Right. Right. Right.
If that's US dollars, it's the same price in Canada. So that's even more expensive.
Right.
And you're not even in an urban area. It's
Right.
like way out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, how is it cheaper? Like it's cheaper, yeah, to go live in Indiana.
Right, but nowhere within 4 hours of a major economically successful city can you really afford to live. So you're right, you can't even really live in Washington. You'd have to live in Idaho or Boise or something. So there are whole regions that remain affordable, but the most famous ones are not, like the West Coast, Northeast, Southeast in a lot of ways, Mountain West, no. So it's like the Midwest and the deep Southeast is the only affordable,
Yeah. And it's like, because even here too, like people want to live in Vancouver, the weather
Yeah.
is better.
Right.
You think Toronto's expensive.
Right.
All the big cities are expensive.
Yeah. Except when I went to Winnipeg, I was like, this is a beautifully affordable city. I remember I went there because it's so out of the way.
And the mosquitoes are bad.
Oh, I went in the summer. They just about killed me, and I went to Dauphin Island, Dauphin Park, which is like a provincial park, and I couldn't walk because I've never seen mosquitoes like that in the U.S. They cover you.
Yeah, and black
Wild.
flies, which takes a price out of it.
Yeah, right.
Mosquitoes aren't bad out here.
No, but yeah, in the middle of Canada, very much. But yeah, but you can see, right, those are the only areas that are affordable. Now, though I can live here a long time, it's so nice, but I want to go further. I took this long 4-month trip.
You're right in New York City then?
Yeah, so right in the middle of Manhattan. So my mom has an apartment, so I grew up there, and I can still stay there. But I travel 10 months a year.
Rent control.
She didn't get it. That would have been nice. That would have been very nice.
I think New York City is actually safer than it seems safer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's more quiet than people think. Yeah, it got cleaned up a lot, but a lot of it's personality. Yeah. Well, right, but that's the 2000s, 2010s, it got cleaned up, but some people say it lost a lot of its soul, a lot of the original music and art coming out from there. But now it's getting a little grungier, I would say, within the last 3 years, 4 years. So I had homelessness. All the cities face the same problem. Homelessness, just like in Vancouver.
People come here because the weather can be outside.
Yeah.
And they travel to here.
Yeah, right.
in a big cities probably because there's services or like you can hide in doorways or there's ATM machines.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to get that in a small town.
No.
But in small towns, you're just going to have a drug problem.
Yeah, I mean, massive fentanyl issues and
meth is a big thing in the city.
yeah, meth is even bigger. Yeah, so that's right. And so it's almost like pick your poison in some regards.
Well, we're not sending you in. It's not the it's not smuggling. It's egg smuggling. It's the big thing from Canada.
Yeah, egg smuggling. I never heard. Wow, oh, that's cool. That's new. That's hilarious.
We're smuggling eggs because ours are still
Cheaper. Yeah. I went to the grocery store. And I thought, recently I thought, oh, they're so reasonable.
Good evening, everyone.
This is so cool. Well, very nice to meet you. Thank you. I'm Doc, by the way. Pleasure.
Father's side of the family is Cuisalat. My father is Johnny Leon from St'Alis First Nation. My ancestral name from my mother's side of the family is Laha. My mother is Helen Cunningham from Katesy First Nation. My English name is Grace George, and I come before you today as the elected Chief Councillor for Katesy First Nation. I welcome you today
Kevin, that's all
with the
that's a good point.
acknowledgement that we are gathered upon the sacred, ancestral, and unceded territorial lands of the Katesy, Kwantlen, and Semiahmoo peoples.
Oh, no, you're good. Thank you for asking, though.
Lands where our songs were first sung, where our languages were first spoken, and where our ancestors have thrived since time immemorial. These lands are just not the ground beneath our feet.
Yeah, get some
They are the
social.
spirit,
Thank you.
memory, culture,
I'm
and
still a
life
little
of our
shy,
people.
but then I always do it.
The rivers, the mountains, and the cedar trees carry the wisdom of our ancestors. And they also carry the dreams of our elders and our children and those yet to be born. We inherit the responsibility to continue to bear our sacred lands with humility and honor. Today, we acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and we welcome him and all of you as guests on these territories. Let's hope that the footsteps remain along the path of truth, healing, and the rightful recognition of our peoples across Canada. May we walk together in
Ham it up
unity
has been
and
on the ground. It's like
partnership,
hardcore.
and with the shared purpose of building a strong future our ancestors would be proud of. With that, I raise my hands to the organizers and to each and every single one of you for following our sacred protocols of our people. Aisaka. Thank you all.
So I'm back. No more bummer music, sorry. But I'm just going to say a few words. I think it's so important that we can marry heart and mind, that we can be sensible and reasonable and rational and pragmatic and believe in evidence and truth, and yet at the same time compassion and caring for each other and kindness as foundations of who we are as Canadians. And there's so much BS in the world of elections and campaigning and misinformation. And when I was asked to be here this evening, it was a very quick yes, because it is very comforting to feel like there is an adult in the room. If you guys would all join me, I'm going to sing a very familiar song. We're going to do O Canada together, all right?
Our home and native lands.
Oh,
Let's see if I know this, guys. American. Our home and native land, true patriot saints. Whoops. Whiz give our. Whoops. Man, I thought it was Give Our Hearts.
With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Not bad for an American trying to sing it, right? But give us, I think I knew half of it.
Thank
It's
you.
not awful.
I'd like to
This guy's
welcome
listening.
up
I'm an
the nominee
American. That's why I cannot
for,
sing along. But
Cloverdale
I got
Langley
half of your
City,
anthem.
Mr. Kyle Latchford.
Want to thank Dan Mangan for
Fair
coming
game.
on with that wonderful intro. Thank you to Chief Ray Short for starting us off in a good way. Good evening, everybody. How are we all feeling tonight? All right. My name is Kyle Latchford, and I am proud to be your Liberal candidate for Cloverdale Langley City. I'm husband to Amanda and father to 3 wonderful daughters, Audrey, Peyton, and Thea. Oh, there they are. We're joined today by our incredible BC team, Sook and Randeep, who have proudly represented Surrey in our community for so many years, and will continue to do so. And John, Ernie, Jill, and Gerbax, who have put their names forward to represent their communities too. We're also joined by our friends north of the Fraser. The team standing here before you will bring a strong, unified voice of British Columbia in Ottawa. I've spent my years and career serving our community, but this is the most critical election of our lifetime.
That's the whole.
We need a leader who will stand up to Donald Trump, not mimic him and compare rally sizes. We need a leader to unite Canadians, protect our communities, fight threats to our sovereignty, and build our country up. The leader for the job is Mark Carney, and he has the resume to prove it. Who did Stephen Harper call on to manage the 2008 financial crisis? Mark Carney. And who was there to manage Brexit in the UK? Mark Carney. The fact is, when Conservatives need help to manage the economy, they call on a Liberal. So in this last stretch of the campaign, let's go knock on doors, make calls, and get out the vote to elect a Mark Carney Liberal government. I'm honored to introduce someone who knows the Prime Minister best. And please join me in giving a big, warm, south of the Fraser welcome to Diana Fox Carney. Thank you.
Called it. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Polyev has the hardest way. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's Shaggy. Put a 3 in the chat if you think it's Carney. You actually don't have to answer this.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Bonsoir tout le monde. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see the sunshine here and to be here in beautiful British Columbia. And as Kyle said, and thank you for the introduction, Kyle, I'm here to tell you a little bit more about someone that I know pretty well and you guys are getting to know a bit better. I want to start by acknowledging that we're in extremely difficult times. We face a constantly shifting environment. But amidst all this, one thing that remains constant is my husband, your Prime Minister. Mark he's undaunted by the kinds of challenges that would fell most of us. And what comes to mind for me most strongly is the morning after the Brexit referendum in the UK. And it was Mark who stood up and led the way. He'd done his homework. When others were in disarray, Mark was prepared. He had a plan. He was ready then, and he's ready now. But I would also want to assure you that lest you think he's invincible, he also struggles with things like managing the air fryer, keeping the inbox under control, all those kinds of things that we all struggle with. But big things, he's great. And Mark is also very loyal. He still has his friends from grade school. He still has many of his spiral notebooks from grade school in the attic. He talks about his family dog when he was growing up. And I think those of you who saw the Oilers skate video will know that he still holds on to his 1980s goalie skates from college. But another thing that I always remark upon is Mark's strong focus on outcomes. And right now, he's focused on creating a point and then figures out how to get there, how to deliver. And he's dedicated to doing the very best job he can in every situation for everyone. He has strongly held values, he's a committed listener, and he's amazingly good at seeing the wood from the trees. And along the way, Mark builds and inspires confidence. In fact, one of the strange things about being married to Mark is that wherever we go, wherever we find ourselves in the world, regardless of whether we speak the language or not, people approach Mark on the street and they ask him for directions. Little do they know that I'm actually the one who has a sense of direction. So I've been married to Mark for more than 30 years. And he still surprises me every day with his clarity of thought, his capacity for hard work, deep commitment to public service. I'm lucky to have him, we're lucky to have him, and without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce my husband, your Liberal leader, and the Prime Minister who will make Canada strong.
Adding some filler. Very smart.
All right.
Smart team.
Hello, Surrey. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. not just for that introduction, but for all of your work on this campaign. Diana's been out.
I'm not
Reading
I'm
signs,
just
knocking
telling
on
you
doors,
that's
making
American.
phone calls, trying to find something nice to say about me as introductions. Commitment and compassion as in everything that she does. Look, it is fantastic. I've been looking forward to this all week. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thanks for having me. It is great to be in Canada's fastest growing, most diverse community. It is great to be here with a slate of amazing Liberal candidates that we need in Ottawa to build Canada strong. So, look, I have a question.
Sorry, guys.
Who's ready? Who is ready? Who is ready to stand up for Canada with me? Who is ready? Who is ready to help the Liberal Party win the most consequential election of our lifetime? Okay. With this room, I think we got a shot. We got a shot at winning that election. But we need it. Elbows up. Elbows up. We're getting that.
What does that mean?
We need it because President Trump's trade war has literally ruptured the global economy. He has betrayed Canada, America's closest friend, their most steadfast ally. Who indeed? Exactly. Keep going. This, you know, this is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. But it's also our new reality. We have to deal with this. And we will get through this crisis. We will get through this crisis if we come together, if we unite around a bold plan rooted in our shared values. This is time for serious leadership, and a united country. We need to come together. We need to come together, but we need to act. We need to come together, and I saw a sign that said this: we need to come together to fight, to protect, and to build Canada. There it is. Même en français. Se battre, protéger, bâtir, c'est ça. We need to fight Trump's tariffs with counter tariffs of our own that will cause maximum damage in the United States. They asked for it, they're getting it. We need to protect our workers and our businesses using every single dollar of those tariffs. Every single dollar. Jared Poilievre pocketed all the money. We're going to send it to our workers. And above all,
They're kicking out a protester. We got a protester, taxes to Canada. That's him getting kicked out. Interesting. And then people kind of try to drown out the guy with St. Carney. Good idea.
above all, in BC.
That was fun.
And across Canada, we need to unite to build Canada strong. That's what we're going to do. Now, that's not necessarily going to be...
there's another one. There's another protest.
It's going to require some big changes. And I'm ready to make them. You know, I'm not a career politician. You can probably tell. I am not a career politician. But I am a pragmatist. And so when I see something that's not working, I change it. And that's exactly what I did as soon as I became Prime Minister. Homes Boy, I don't need to tell you this here in Surrey. Homes have become too expensive. So we are cutting taxes on them, and we have set out a strategy to build twice as many homes. We're going to build 500,000 homes a year using BC technology, BC skilled trades, and BC lumber. We saw that the capital gains tax hike, what was that doing? It was stifling builders, the very builders we need. It was holding back innovators. So we got rid of it. We got rid of it. We saw, you know, across this country, the consumer carbon tax looked good on paper, but it was too divisive. Too divisive. So we eliminated it on day one. The BC government followed up. Premier Eby and the BC government followed up, saving you at least 18 cents a liter at the pump. Okay. And what we're going to do doesn't mean we're stopping the fight against climate change, because we're going to get the big polluters to pay you to save energy through home retrofit. Not your tax dollars. Nous avons élargi l'accès au régime canadien de soins dentaires pour que 5 millions de Canadiens de plus puissent en bénéficier. 5 million more Canadians access to dental care. Nous avons renforcé nos relations commerciales avec l'Union européenne pour que nos exportateurs soient moins dépendants aux États-Unis. New relations, EU, less dependent on the U.S. We are Canada. We've got lots of friends. We got lots of friends. America doesn't want to be our friends. We've got others.
I want to be your friends.
Et nous avons conclu une entente importante avec l'Australie et renforcé notre coopération militaire avec la France et le Royaume-Uni. So, at the end of my first week as Prime Minister, I brought together all the premiers to Ottawa, and we agreed to eliminate all the barriers on trade and workers inside our own. And I went home that night, and I thought, when's the last time all the premiers agreed on anything? Anything. Except, you know, mutual loathing, hatred of Ottawa, which is fair. But if that's what they think. But the fact is, we need one Canadian economy, not 13. And my government will do its best. If you send us to Ottawa, we will eliminate all federal regulations by July 1st, free trade in Canada by Canada. So in 9 days of government, before the election, 9 days of government, we did more than Pierre Poilievre has imagined in all of his decades in Congress. And that's it. If he had an imagination and didn't just mimic President Trump. I'm sorry, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. That's what he's doing. And the question is, imagine what we could do together over the next 4 years if we have a strong mandate. We need in this country, we need a strong and positive government. Because as he made clear once again today in the Oval Office, President Trump, he is trying to break us so that America can own us. Yeah, that's the answer. That's the answer, Donald. That will never happen. Ever. We're going to have to come through Surrey. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Turn them back at the border. But you know what? I've realized over the last few weeks across the country, we're over the shock of this betrayal. But at the same time, we should never forget the lessons we've been taught. We have to look out for ourselves, and we have to take care of each other. That's all. You know, we didn't ask for this fight, but Canada's strong. I'll tell you, Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. And what they're gonna find out is in this trade war, just like in hockey, we will win. Like many of you, I grew up, hockey played a big part of my life. I grew up with the values I learned at the kitchen table, in the classroom, and on the ice. My parents were teachers. And what they stressed was I'm talking about my...
We got some protesters.
I'm talking about my parents.
Genocide.
Thank you.
Somebody yelling genocide.
You know, the lessons, they stress the importance. You know, the importance of working hard, the importance of supporting our community, the importance of caring for other people. Those were the lessons my parents taught me. My coaches, not surprisingly, in the -30 in Edmonton, they taught me to play hard, get off the ice quickly, be ambitious, and this being Canada, stay humble, right? They don't teach you to stay humble in the U.S. They teach you to stay humble in Canada.
What?
But
I feel personally attacked.
These are Surrey values. These are Canadian values. And I took them with me. Je me suis appuyé sur ces valeurs quand j'ai fait des crises au Canada et à l'étranger. Et aujourd'hui, je m'appuie sur elles pour faire face au président Trump et bâtir une économie renouvelée, où tous peuvent réussir dans un monde qui a été profondément transformé. Now, this bringing together community values, this relying on the values. I don't know that Pierre Poilievre gets any of this. Because, cut. I know. I don't get it either. I don't get it. He doesn't get it. I have, though, seen this movie before around the world, because there is a type of lifelong politician who worships at the altar of the free market despite never having actually worked in the private sector. It's much easier that way. And it's a kind of politician who never changes his mind, but relies on his reflex to always cut, to destroy and divide. And say so. Yeah. Now, what we need more than ever, we need solutions, not slogans. Yeah. We need calm, not chaos. And we need action, not anger. Action. We need parce que la négativité ne va pas nous permettre de gagner une guerre commerciale. La négativité ne va pas payer le loyer ou l'hypothèque. La négativité ne va pas faire baisser le prix de l'électricité. Et la négativité ne va pas rendre le Canada pauvre. Negativity isn't going to pay the groceries, it's not going to pay the rent, it's not going to win a trade war, it will not make Canada strong. And what we're seeing in the US with this politics, it is already dividing and weakening the Americans. We resist. We will win this battle. We will win this battle. They will get weaker. We will get stronger. We will win this battle if we are strong and united. You know what? When the Americans look to Canada, look to British Columbia, it's our strength that they want.
Exactly.
They want our resources. They want our water. That's right. They want our land. They want our country. They want our country. Never, 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 never. Never for many reasons. But most fundamentally because Canada is not America. Canada is not America. America is a melting pot. Canada, look at this room. Look at the diversity. We're all Canadians. Look at this room. We're all Canadians. The diversity. Canada is a mosaic. You know, in the United States, healthcare is a big business. In Canada, healthcare is a right. Aux États-Unis, on ne reconnaît pas les différences. On ne reconnaît pas les peuples autochtones. Et il n'y aura jamais de droit pour la langue française. Les États-Unis ne sont pas le Canada et le Canada n'en fera jamais partie, jamais. Canada will never, ever be part of America in any way, shape, or form.
Let's try it.
So, having solved that, he doesn't like, I know. So what do we do? So what do we do now? Fight. Now, first we have to manage through this crisis. And my experience is, in a crisis, you have to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. You have to distinguish between what you can change and what you can't. And I think after 78 years, we can't change President Trump. So we need a leader who can stand up to him. We need a leader who can stand up. I've got someone in mind. You're close. You're close.
Sorry, I was stretching my hands.
That leader is not, it's not Pierre Poilievre. No. It's not Pierre Poilievre who draws his inspiration from President Trump, who copies his ideas, and whose first instinct when our nation was attacked was to call Canada stupid. That's not Pierre Poilievre who chooses to be willfully blind to the growing threats facing Canada by refusing, for some reason, to get his security clearance. 956 days and counting. It took me 3 weeks. Had to fill out a couple forms, tell the truth, it wasn't that hard. I don't know. Be straight up to me. Alors, nous sommes dans une situation, d'habitude, nous sommes maîtres chez nous. Nous pouvons contrôler notre destin économique. We can and we will control our destiny with the right plan. Because in a crisis, plan beats no plan. And to succeed in a crisis, and we are in the gravest crisis of our lifetime, to succeed in a crisis, you have to act with overwhelming force. Overwhelming force to overcome the anxieties that people naturally feel, the anxieties we all feel. We have to act with overwhelming force to break through the uncertainty that businesses face, and overwhelming force to replace what the crisis is taking away. You know, the private sector in these situations pulls back, starts to retreat. And government needs.
Yeah, another protester. Pretty cool. Where are they?
Government needs to step up. Government needs to step up and provide direction, to catalyze action and drive investment. And
this is awkward.
That is what our plan. That is what our plan for Canada Strong will do. So what do we do with the plan? How do we do that? We got to start at home. We've got to start by making the government spend less so that Canadians can invest more. We have to cut out, and we will cut out government waste. But the core of our plan, you guessed it, is to build. Build, baby, build. That is what we're doing. Notre plan va permettre de bâtir des millions de logements, de faire du Canada une superpuissance énergétique, de créer de bonnes carrières dans les emplois spécialisés, de bâtir de nouveaux corridors commerciaux avec de nouveaux partenaires fiables autour du monde. Our plan. There was a lot in that. Our plan will fight back against President Trump's trade war, and it will usher in a new era of investment, of jobs and growth. We will create $20,000 in new growth for every single Canadian over the next 5 years. That's what we need when we say we're making Canada strong together. Now I'm going to do a little comparison, because the Conservatives finally released their platform yesterday.
Guys, I'm going to find somewhere to sit.
I thought the same thing, actually. Same thing. It didn't take me long to read it, actually. Lots of pictures of Pierre. And really what it demonstrated, that once again, Pierre Poilievre has no plan to stand up to President Trump.
At least a better view here.
He is literally grasping at straws. Very clever. Very subtle, that. That's the big issue of our day. I know our, the world superpower is attacking us, but let's sort out the straw thing first. He's offering Canadians a fantasy of fiscal tricks and phantom growth. He's ignoring the investments that we need to build the strongest economy, an economy that works for everyone. He's surrendering, literally surrendering in the fight against climate change. He wants to cut what Canadians value: childcare, dental care, pharmacare, treatment for mental health and addictions, and the CDC. He has a bring it home tax cut that is never home. It won't arrive for 4 years after President Trump is due to leave office. It's not a solution. Our tax cut shows up July 1, by the way, $825. Because if you're a pragmatist, you do something, you do it right away. Unlike Pierre Poilievre, I've managed budgets before. I've managed economies before. And I've managed crises before. And I know that in a crisis, you build forward, you don't cut back.
Yeah.
A crisis is a time for bold action, not tired ideology. A crisis is a time to come together, not to sow division. A crisis is a time for experience, not experiments. Now, Pierre Poilievre and Mr. Trump's allies here in Canada, and he has some allies in Canada, they don't like our plan to stand up to President Trump. And, you know, to be charitable, maybe they believe what they're saying. Maybe they believe that the best way to defend ourselves is to leave every Canadian to fend for themselves.
No!
Possible. You could believe it. Maybe they believe that we should just go along to get along. That the way to get through this crisis is to keep our heads down, to give the Americans what they want, and hope for the best. Anyone? Any takers? No! That is not what made Canada strong. I know, we can give ourselves far more than the Americans can ever take away. And we know, as America retreats from the world, Canada can lead it.
Yeah!
I think the choice in this election could not be clearer. Now, I talk a lot about a strong economy, and before I wrap up, I want to say a few words about why I care and why we as Liberals, why we as Canadians care about building a strong economy. And it goes back to community. It's because we care about people. That value of community that we all share. We know we are all in this together. I want to give an example. From a few weeks ago, I met a teacher in Ontario who told me about a routine assignment that she'd given to her 9 and 10-year-old students. And the kids were asked to describe their dreams for Canada. She gave me the papers that they'd written. And some kids wrote about a country free of poverty. Others, Others dreamt of clean air and clean water, or a place where everyone enjoyed equal rights, dignity, and respect. These kids, like kids here, kids there, well brought up, well taught. Because what they're expressing is what we all want for ourselves, what we all want for each other. But you know what struck me? Is that many of these cards, the kids wrote about tariffs and threats to our sovereignty. And those are words I had not met at their age. Those are words I did not know when I was 9 and 10 years old. And I'm going to quote one of them. I dream of a safe, a kind, and a clean Canada. And then the song goes on and says, a Canada that is not the United States. Our children should be able to dream about a positive future, not worry about an economic crisis. So, while I know these times are unsettling, I also know that we can give our children that future, the future they deserve. Not because it's easy, not because it'll be easy, but because it is right. And that is why I'm standing here before you. given me everything. My family, my education, and my values. And in return, I'm ready to give my everything to Canada. I teared up a bit because I saw the Oilers score. You're like, I feel that? Yeah, it's not. Okay, yeah. Soon. Look, but in seriousness, to do everything, to give everything, to deliver this plan, I need your help. Because there are only 5 days left in this campaign. Only 5 days left in this campaign. And I know a number of you, I see you, a number of you have already given so much of your time and talents to build a better Surrey, a better Cloverdale, and to fight for our country's future. But to use the hockey analogy, there are 5 minutes left in the third period of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. The values that we share. I'm asking for your vote to stand up to Donald Trump, to build a united Canada that works for all. Let's build Canada strong.
All right, guys. I gotta beat the rush.
Hey, I think they're going to go.
And again, want to see the whole attendance. You can see it. It's not massive, guys, let's be honest. But it's not horrible. But I'm pretty sure Pierre's rallies are a lot more well attended. This is the audience that came out, just so you have a real perspective. And I'll bite my tongue for a moment and then give my analysis if you are so interested outside. Let me know, put a 1 if you want me to interview more people. We should have interviewed a bunch already, but put a 1 if you want me to interview. Put a 2 if you just want to hear my analysis of some random American who's gone now to 3 rallies. We've gone to a Green NDP, I saw me, I saw Jonathan Pedno, Mark Carney. In 2 days we have the Green, we have the Pierre. So, this is the scene, Mark Carney rally. Well, what say me? I come off here feeling uninspired. This isn't a great turnout. It's really not. It's a pretty relatively small room. It was certainly not packed to capacity. And at the same time, Poilievre seems to be getting gangbusters for his rallies. So there's a deficit of enthusiasm. It does remind me keenly of when I went to Wisconsin. And I went to a Trump rally and a Harris rally on the same day. And Trump was pretty well attended at a giant arena. And then Harris, in the middle of people saying she has all this enthusiasm in Wisconsin, had a rally that was similar to this, probably a little bigger, obviously, because it's the U.S., but similar structure. And it was like 70% attended. And you could almost see what would happen just based on that rally. So I don't, the enthusiasm, there's an enthusiasm deficit. But, and that's why I'm here, because again, it takes an American to give you the truth, I'm kidding. But the CBC and the CTV, or whatever you Canadians have, they don't ever show the crowd size, the actual crowd size. So I figure I'd be here and actually show the crowd size. So crowd size was well attended. it was mostly full. It was 75% full, but it was a very easily accessible event to get out. It's this little barn here. There's all of us in the barn, and we all hung out in the barn. And that's, it's light. I'm kind of in shock. I mean, honestly, guys, I'm going to be real with you. Jagmeet Singh had maybe half the people Carney has. When I went to his rally, the Green Party maybe had a third of what Carney has at this rally. So, I don't think Jagmeet Singh expect to get half of the vote, but it was interesting coming up to all of them and seeing them. But maybe that means there's more enthusiasm for the NDP than people think. But I would say for where Jagmeet is in the polls in their rally, I was impressed by the attendance. And from where Carney is in the polls, I was unimpressed with the attendance, I would say. And then, Carney himself is a very flat, uninspiring speaker. No real emotions. He's just almost speaks in a monotone voice the entire time. Jagmeet's certainly an exciting speaker. Jonathan Pedno, even though he barely speaks English, was actually a good speaker. He spoke with charisma and had this kind of soaring oratory. He was good, and Elizabeth May was a good speaker. Carney, out of all I haven't seen Pierre yet, but Carney, out of all the speakers I've seen, is by a mile, or kilometers, you guys say, by a kilometer worse. It's my perspective. Well, I might sign off because I only got 33%. Anyway, guys, that's my analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be off tomorrow, just hanging out, enjoying Canadian land. And the next day will be a rally in Nanaimo? Oh, fuck, I don't know how to say it. In Vancouver. That's where I'm going to be. So stick around for that. Bye, guys.